Okay, I'm here, you're here. Well, this first song is sort of a pair of monologues in the minds of two people on the road from somewhere to somewhere. October, following the folds of my old travel maps, only kept for nothing, who knows. After storms it seemed like every color was split up in the sky, fell inside and turned back to black when I cruised by. And every tall tree that I drove by fell behind me out of sight. Some silent sign mocking the solid and the disconnected lines back in those times. Now one day I stopped it at the crest of a hill to watch a girl hitch up ahead, and I doubt she used her compass well, but I found my tongue pressed hard into the roof of my mouth. I guess I surprised her when I picked her glasses up off the ground. She had a small tweed suitcase and a print skirt blowing round, and some gray in her red hair, and the footprints of a dog that had circled round her legs a couple times going on its way, probably home. By the time I felt his hurt, I knew it was too late for me. Bide your time was all it said, but don't surrender willingly. So she ignored me with a cracker on a soft shoulder for a while. Shadows past and pinned the blue horizon down. Keys forgotten, my trunk running hard, even though the gas was low. And though she couldn't say where it was she should have been, or where was I going, or would I like a cracker, don't you never wonder where a damn dog comes from? And finally she took my arm and said she'd never, never said the word love. And I spent the next 3 days worth of nights inside her arms, behind that small filling station we barely made by dawn. It's too late not to make mistakes if I break out which way to run. Look at him waiting over there, no amount could buy that look of love. Now every time I see myself too close to a wall, I scratch the painted layers down to find a mirror waiting there, in those small cheap rented rooms where I placed her soft face against mine. Children left behind, no friends to tell the tales. What the hell difference would it have mattered anyway, to be scared of existing and doing it so well that somebody might count our ripples in a tourists wishing well. On the window of his truck, where others watch tornadoes pass, I blew some mist and secretly drew a heart upon the glass. Now one day in a town, we picked at random off a map. Out of the post office she came, with a letter in her hand. Sure, I knew what to ask, but why when there's nothing much to tell? By the time the bus came, I knew her watercourses well. Recent Jennifer Warren's album, the one called The Hunter. If you open that up, you'll see inside there's a picture of her walking down a dirt road with this little satchel and a dog walking behind her. And something went off in my brain and it said, "It's song time." And I turned on the tape machine because I just keep a little tape recorder ready, and it just kind of came out. So. But this one, I wrote this one for a friend of my younger brother's who he lives in LA now and was visiting for a while. And a friend of his came out to visit in New York City. And after she was here for about 2 days, this woman's mother sent her a care package with mace and toilet paper and maps and all the things she thought that she'd need in New York City. She was only going to stay for a week or two. And that reminded me of one night that I was sitting in one of these off-Broadway theaters. It was about the distance that I am from you, and I was listening in on a conversation between two women, and I didn't really catch the beginning, and I didn't catch the end, but one of them said to the other, "I just can't go home anymore because my parrot is imitating my telephone machine." And then that reminded me of this person that I knew all too well, who came to New York one time and decided it would be cool to stay in the Chelsea Hotel, and so she saved up her money to stay in the Chelsea Hotel for a while. And the way she told the story later was that she just couldn't stand it there. Something really bothered her. And found out later that the room they put her in was the one where Sid Vicious had killed Nancy Spungen. So this is for somebody who comes to New York City and gets paranoid and stays. For most of the first week, she gave quarters freely and stayed at the Chelsea, but got spooked by the vibe in the room where Sid gave Nancy the knife. Our expatriate love child from a thorn-apple farm still believed that the harvest back home kept her warm. A shiny police lock brought no peace of mind. Once her parrot learned to imitate all the phone machine guys, and her personal skyline shivers. Look her way as long as you dare. Through each little window of her flickering eyes, she'll show you what you're afraid to declare. Of each season's great hurricanes, rearranged their letters till they spelled out her name. Played her beat copy of White Light, White Heat, till each minor chord left her pure like Hugh Sedgwick. And her personal skyline shivers. Look her way as long as you dare. Through each little window of her flickering eyes, she'll show you what you're afraid to declare. poignant memory brought on deja vu. She kept a journal in every other color but blue. By New Year's her hands were cold, bloody and raw. From jamming letters down mailboxes she filled lungs full of. Then her personal skyline shivers. Look her way as long as you dare. Through each little window of her flickering eyes, she'll show you what you're afraid to declare. She came to New York with a head full of dreams. For most of the first week she gave quarters for free. Like stayed at the Chelsea but got spooked by the vibe in the room where Sid gave Nancy the night. I spent my summers growing up in the Adirondacks in a house not as tiny as this, but it was also one of those Adirondack cabins. Not quite as rustic, although the ceiling looked the same. The walls were more like the wainscoting ceiling, but it just had this same kind of atmosphere. Was where it was the only radio station that you could get, at least on my little transistor, was WKBW from Buffalo, and it would fade in and out. This is a song called Lost Dove, and this is a view of the world as we know it from the point of view of Noah's dove. Sent me out over the open sea. Please, wind, come. Wind, please lift me. Magnetism in my cells is guiding me. The thrust of his rising arms fades gradually. Abandoned on the open sea, abandoned on the open sea, abandoned. And Noah sent me out over the open sea. My little bones bound for logic's last boundary. Peace of mind blinded by his need to fly, unknowable as tomorrow's food or light. The ocean was fluorescent as I waited in his hand. Of a distracted man, abandoned on the open sea, abandoned on the open sea, abandoned. And Noah sent me out over the open sea, between hardwired dung beetles buried and a high jet stream. Before the first fresh tide cycle was complete, His instinct and chance memory told him it would recede. Directionless and starving, guided by debris. Extinct wings of flightless birds, my gravity. And my cascading season dreams. And my thinking Sherpas hauling every yesterday behind me. In the direction of the morning. And the first dry mountain tip I see. Abandoned on the open sea. Abandoned on the open sea. Abandoned. Sent me out over the open sea. Please, wind, come. Wind, please return me. White wings and a two-chambered heart full of beats. And an olive branch picked up by chance he took from me. Starlight on the water is reflected back through the starry sea, with a picture of the new world and the shadow of me. Please, wind, come. Wind, please lift me. Please, wind, come. Wind, please lift me. Sort of one of those country songs where the guy goes to the bar and decides he's going to have a really great time, and does have a really great time, in a manner of speaking, and he comes back the next night thinking he's going to have a great time also, but he's in for a little surprise. And that's what you call walking the fool's last mile. Shown behind the bar, and every second guys look her direction. I still see myself clearly as I walked right up to her, about to learn one more of life's hard lessons. She was all dressed up in boys, didn't she impress the crowd? Laughing like those careless girls we knew, who at last call whisper a soft siren song. I'd like to dance the night away with you. Now I'm walking the fool's last mile. Love makes one grandstand, and inspiration's whiskey for a lousy country band. And all the guys are smiling, thought they'd take her down the aisle, but instead, like me, they've been walking the fool's last mile. Guess I'm blind to reason, walking the fool's last mile. She was too good to be true, boys, walking the fool's last mile. Pride will keep you strong, keep on acting strong, walking on the fool's last mile. So noisy whiskey hit me, boys, I saw her there, once and asked just who I was, and gave the crowd a wink and one good laugh. Now I'm walking the fool's last mile. Love makes one grandstand, and inspiration's whiskey for a lousy country band. And all the guys who are smiling thought they'd take her down the aisle, but instead, like me, they've been walking the fool's last mile. I'm walking the fool's last mile. Love makes one grandstand, and inspiration's whiskey or a lousy country band. And all the guys who are smiling thought they'd take her down the aisle, but instead, like me, they've been walking the fool's last mile. This is my first guitar. Bought in August of 1970. We've been around. I want to try to write a Beatles ballad, and this is it. She's steady when she comes to me. I can't catch her in my moving arms. She knows better than to hold her breath. I can't touch her when my heart is dark. One rose, all I have to give her is one rose. One rose that blooms in clear water, stands on its own. One rose. She's read the lifeline in my open hand and showed me where the lover's not untied. In the city of 8 million sights, she's all I see through these crowded eyes. One rose, all I have to give her is one rose. One rose that blooms in clear water and stands on its own. One rose. Heart-to-heart survival takes a good luck charm. Down the years comes this Chinese corn. Each life we've been together, it has followed us as our love and our lives entwine. If I can show her that the change in me will outlast the night this time. A dozen reasons are not needed when what is true is one true love survives. One rose, all I have to give her is one rose. One rose that blooms in clear water stands on its own. One rose, one rose, one rose, one rose. English and ends in French, which is a language that I don't speak. Hand in hand up the Rue Saint Catherine, through Montreal to Notre Dame. Red and blue flames lit up the aisles as you kissed me under the eyes of the carved and painted saints, like we did on the roof, over the poor side of New York, with our futures to burn. Indian summer turned, the night I left. You were afraid I would refuse every fragile word you used. Now I'm curled around you and you tell me to dream in French most of the time. I do not speak the language, still I pull you close to not lose your love this time. To not lose your love this time. Park statues where our fortunes could be told, and search the streets for the thief of our lost souls. Time reprimands as it leaves your hands. If you move too far apart, a glass wall divides your hearts. The taxis honked and slammed. We were home, the city cool. While you slept I was alone, staring in the dark. You woke with a start. Qu'est-ce que tu fais maintenant, monsieur? Oui, je t'aime, mon amour. Now I'm curled around you and you tell me to dream in French most of the time. Je ne sais pas parler français, still I pull you close to not lose your love this time. To not lose your love this time. Washed out the barriers that were strong from our twin eyes till our mouths become one. Now a safe heart beats here while we sleep, and the dreams that make you speak are no longer strange to me. Now you're curled around me and you tell me that you've begun to dream in French most of the time. Je ne sais pas parler français, still I pull you close, ne peux song for a friend's wedding. It was April 1st, 1980-something or other. She's on her third wedding now. Sometimes the song still applies. I got home last night and I went to check the mail. There was another invitation to a party with a wedding veil. Guess each prince had finally come for my lovers and my friends. Been down memory lane before, but I've never been to the end. But now all my ex-girlfriends are married. I toss the rice and wish her well. She's a good old gal, gonna miss my pal and the romantic crust and Harry. I toss the rice, I'll wish them well now that all my ex-girlfriends are married. Went to the church, was an urbane slip affair. Relatives we avoided, we lived in sin were there. They asked for my objections and I stood up, I said no. When it's time to toast the bride, there's a few things you should know now that all my ex-girlfriends are married. I toss the rice and wish her well. She's a good old gal, gonna miss her pal and the romantic crust and Harry. And I toss the rice, I'll wish them well now that all my ex-girlfriends are married. I'm not bitter or lonely or an angry malcontent. Got these old friends, and I know I've got the best. I got sentimental pictures and phone calls make me smile. Did not go the distance, we sure did go in style. And now all my ex-girlfriends are married. I toss the rice and wish her well. She's a good old gal, gonna miss her pal and the romantic crust and Harry. I toss the rice, I'll wish him well now that all my ex-girlfriends are married and divorced. All my ex-girlfriends are married. At this theater called Shakespeare and Company up in the Berkshires, and I was writing this song at the end of one of their seasons. And the thing about this company is that it's based in a house that Edith Wharton built in 1911. And it's rumored to be haunted. All the actors who live there think that it's haunted by Edith, even though she died in Paris much later and built herself a new home outside of Paris. But there are a lot of things that go around and go on in this house which are pretty suspicious. Doors opening and people hearing voices and fires going out. And I've experienced some of these things myself, where I felt I was in the library one day, which is this beautiful, ornate, carved library. Had a fire in the fireplace. It felt like somebody was pushing me out of the room, literally just pushing me out of the room. And one of the directors of the company said he was sitting in front of the fireplace one day, he just tended the logs, and he heard a voice behind him say, "Oh, that's better." And there was no one in the house. So anyway, I was writing this song. It was quite late. It was the closing night of the season, and everybody had left. At least I thought everybody had left. I was in what was Edith Wharton's bedroom and playing, and then I heard people up on the third floor walking around. And after a while I realized that whenever I was playing, I heard these footsteps, and whenever I wasn't playing, I didn't hear any footsteps. And it kind of spooked me a little bit because of all the things I heard about the building. And so I went to bed and just sort of pulled the sheets up. And then I woke up at 2 or 3 in the morning and was wide awake, and I figured, okay, I'll just play a little bit. So I started playing, and these footsteps started again. So I stopped. It has nothing to do with the song itself. It is the condition under which it was written. It's sort of a song of fear. Her black stallion has no shadow she can use. Her black stallion throws it off when he comes home. But her love can take his speed and he carries her freely. She can't hold him tight and close when it suits his temper. He sets her loose. Her black stallion, hear him kicking in the stall. Her black stallion, breaks the bridle to get out. Even though he's choked with passion, no one's hands can calm him down. Her black stallion, knocks me hard when he hits the ground. Her black stallion, fuses feet and kicks a stall. Her black stallion, starts tornadoes in the hall. Her black stallion, stirs up dust but he hears no call. Her black stallion, he drops dead when he hears her name. Her black stallion, now she is mine again. Her black stallion, now he is alone again. Her black stallion has no saddle she can use. Her black stallion, throws it off when he comes home. I'm lightheaded and floating on air, falling from clouds to her there. Some say that love should be fast and free. She's earthbound and she anchors me. She's earthbound and she anchors me. Tie a string to my finger and I will follow her till I fly. Without her I would have blown away. She's earthbound and I'm glad I'm tied. She's earthbound and I'm glad I'm tied. I can't imagine her standing on an open field. I push but she doesn't fall. question has not got an answer, but sometimes she wants them all. Sure, I love her, and that won't change. I'll bet she's wondering why. Someday I might tell her gratefully that she's earthbound in my solid mind. She's earthbound in my solid mind. She's earthbound, and I'm glad I'm tired. Small town where nobody knows you. That's what you want. She lived a life that didn't wear her down. Now she wants someone she loves around. She turned around and that's when she saw me. Look at her run. Someone she loves around, and she turned around and that's when she saw me. Look at her now. Coming under the fast lane. Look at her run. She had a wild childhood, no one could claim her. Look at her run. The old hard times are not forgotten. Each day feels like a new explosion. Settling down is crazy for some soul. Look at her run. Settling down is crazy for some soul. Look at her run. In the first set, I spent my summers in the Adirondacks. And this place that we had had one of the last party line telephones. And so if you wanted to call up our place, you'd dial Old Forge 396W2. I don't know what the W meant, but 2 meant that if it rang twice, it was for our place. If it rang 3, it was for the next one. So, and the place was sold, and it's been a long time, but I was reading this book a couple of years ago about the Old Forge area, Old Forge Racket Lake area. And it said that when the first phone lines were put in, that one of the first calls that came through was announcing that the Titanic had sunk, because there was a couple that, there was a family up there, the Martin family, and they had their son, their 18-year-old son Daniel, had just gotten married and came back on the Titanic. Was supposed to have come back on the Titanic. And so that got me to thinking just about that, about communication. And one thing that it said in this little blurb in this book was that Daniel's father had been one of the people who invented the motion picture camera, that had been responsible for making it actually be a functioning invention, and that he had taken this camera with him on the crossing over and had taken movies during their honeymoon, and had actually taken movies of the Titanic while it was sinking. And he gave the film to his wife, Mary, and the family didn't even know about that until she died and they found the film, which was nitrate stock film from that area. It was, from that era, it was no good anymore. And that she had never had it developed because she didn't want to see what was on there. And as the story goes, she was pregnant at the time, and her daughter, who died a year ago, was supposedly the last survivor of the Titanic. So this is called The Magic Wand. First a white Northwoods wedding, then its carriage to train, to the port of New York, to the continent. Be well on your grand tour from Old Forge Town. You'll be back when the ice melts and April's coming. Proud groom in top hat, his young bride in lace, a new camera the groom's fathered invented to take. Bring us views of both crossings, pictures of Provence, and movies of your love in old London town. They called it their magic wand. In moving pictures, you'll always be young and in love. Towards home on the flagship of the White Star Line, 2,000 locket steerage, the expectant bride. The shipper woke all souls on the moonless night. Ladies and gentlemen, all on deck if you please. All to the boats, remember this night. All to the boats, you women who fit. All to the boats, take what little you can. On the promenade he kissed her, she chuckled a bit. How horrid a fashion this life fast is. Don't worry your head, dear, this ship is still sound. And he filmed the confusion with the magic wand. pushed back hard, flares lit up the panicking crowd. Ladies cried to their men as the David swung wide. He passed her the film of the ship going down. All to the boats, remember this night. All to the boats, you wealthy who fed. All to the boats, take what little you can. In the North Woods, it's well known that years follow years. A new wedding, a family lying under stone. In a ribbon-tied box she kept 63 years. Was the time-ruined film she had never seen once. All to the boats, remember this night. All to the boats, as many as fit. All to the boats, take what little you can. Liberty, New York once, and there was a square dance troupe there named the Happy Footers, which they were a very strange looking bunch of people. Plenty of little, like, I mean, sounds very New York. They just looked strange in little gingham tutus. And the guy who was calling through a Mr. Microphone. But they were having a great time. Who was I to say that they weren't? So this is for the Happy Footers, for the Happy Footer in all of us. Summer sounds, the gold leaves high above me and the brown ones on the ground. The sound of the square dance followed me up the path, out to the midway where things change fast. I linger on the smell of the leaves in my clothes, and I lean toward tomorrow on yesterday's bones. Wonder to myself when the laughter's gone, why the dancers and callers bring each other along. And what do they hear when no one hears the call? And the carousel stops and their children have grown. They forget about all the merry-go-round rhythms and swings, and the sugar cane Ferris wheel fever that sings. Strangers and friends join the carnival round. Set 'em up, dance 'em down, and leave the two found. Strangers and friends, they all come to see what becomes of each other and where this life leads. Lights on the midway flip forward and back, and my thoughts start from kisses to hunger. There's good smoking food and a chill in my shoes as I move to one side to be closer to you. So we sing to each other so that no one can hear, like the hundreds of couples that come to the fair, while the tilt-a-whirl tosses young hands in the air. Strangers and friends join the carnival round. Set 'em up, dance 'em down, and leave the two found. Strangers and friends, they all come to see what becomes of each other and where this life leads. So here you are now, and I pray for the chance, for a time and a touch that we don't often pass. There are worlds that we share and there are worlds that we miss. In the parking lot, telephones and the Delaware mist, we're strangled in choices and stuck with the view that some things are right and that others will do. While the square dance is called between the hills and the arts, we're caught between the cities and the strangers and stars. Strangers and friends join the carnival round. Set 'em up, dance 'em down, and